So now we have the baby boomers. Yes. Yes. I when I saw this, I said, well, there is a lock for every key. And if you can't beat them, join them. I thought that my first journey down the Jumanji level 1 of OF was going to be where it ended. But just like Jumanji, there's many different Jumanji levels, and each one of them get scarier and scarier. Because when I thought I can safely go back in to my YouTube algorithm, I got inundated with many more, I'm going to say, interesting developments in the OF space. Because as I've said, this is my series, things on my YouTube algorithm that I cannot escape. And because of that, I'm here to bring to you everything that I can find so you could all suffer right there with me. Hello, my name is Lena and welcome to my channel. And I hope that you find this content interesting. I'm not sure if it's going to be funny because actually the topic is not funny. So it might be a little dark humor, a little sarcasm, a little concern, a lot of concern, and a very eye-opening situation because my first video was dipping my Jumanji toe into the dark waters of the OF world of creators. And how does this develop into the next clips that we're going to review? Well, if you're going to be as surprised as I was, we should hit Jumanji level. How many levels are there? 10? 12? We might hit level 5. Okay. So I originally said that there's a lot of dark side to being an OF creator. And it was generally focused on the younger generation doing this and putting themselves out there in that situation where it can go and follow them. Well, lo and behold, I don't know why I'm surprised. There's a whole other subset to this creation of OF. I'm trying to not say the original word because I'm not still sure if it's safe to say that on YouTube. So forgive me if I pause. It's just that my brain is trying to catch up with my mouth. Add pun there. So apparently, I'm going to say this could be leading into Gen X. There is this one clip that I found on TikTok of a 42-year-old woman. She could be just on the cusp of Gen X, which is my generation. And she's married and she has an OF page. And let's take a look of what she has to say about being married and having an OF page. Roll the footage.
I'm 44 years old now. My kids are grown, right? Most of them are out of the house, right? And so this was point of my time where I'm making this decision. This is what I'm doing, right? And like I said, I love my husband, and if he wants to stay with me, he can. But if he doesn't want to stay with me, I'm okay with that.
You're okay if your husband didn't want to stay with you?
I'm not here to control anybody, right? And if that's something that somebody doesn't want to choose to be in my life, right? I'm not here to control anybody's life anymore.
I am actually having some difficulty wrapping my head around this. I mean, I haven't been married quite as long as you, but I've been married for an awful long time. And if I said to my wife, I just don't really care if you stay or you go. Mm-hmm. Like I don't think that she would see that as a my husband loves me very much type of thing.
Well,
I don't think that is a healthy marriage. I don't know because, again, we're only getting one side of the story. But I think for any level of any relationship, that if you are so cavalier about them being there or not, because obviously, you don't need them, I would suspect that the other party of the first part might feel a little upset and not want to be in this relationship, part of the first part too. She's 42, she has kids, they're out of the house, and she has decided to make her own OF page. I can't tell you what's on her OF page, but I suspect that she's not sewing and knitting, just based on the level of confidence that she has that she doesn't need her husband or not. So that's Jumanji level 2, the cusp of my generation. So now we have the baby boomers. Yes. Yes. When I saw this, I said, well, there is a lock for every key. And if you can't beat them, join them. Here we meet this OF model who's 72 years old. And I'm going to let her tell you her story.
At the time, I only had 239 followers, so I figured it's just this captive audience, here in New Orleans. Next morning, I wake up and my Twitter account has blown up, and I've got over 2,000 followers. And I thought, how the hell did that happen?
And this offer was for free?
Yeah, for them to come. They had to agree to be filmed.
Oh, I see.
Because I'm posting that film on my OnlyFans.
Oh, so you got partners.
Yeah. But they don't have to pay me, and I'm not going to pay them. And so I checked my notifications on Twitter, and I found this rapper, who I don't know who he is, who had made kind of a negative comment about my little video. And because of that comment, it went viral. And so the last time I checked, over 5 million people had viewed it. And some people were making fun of it. In fact, there's some guy who has a YouTube channel, that I was like the butt of the joke. And that was hurtful for me. I don't want to be the butt of anybody's joke. It's like I do what I do because I have to support myself and I have to support my disabled son. And, if you're not part of the solution, then honey, you're part of the problem, and just get the fuck away. Leave me alone. And so, anyway, it went viral. I ended up in February of 2020 having 3,115 fans on my OnlyFans page. And at that time, they were paying $12.99 a month. And so in the month of February 2020, I earned $31,000 for that month on OnlyFans. Now in March of 2020 is when I had my surgery, where they took the mass out. And it was a brick-size growth on my left ovary, which is the only ovary I still owned. And the ovary was the size of like 2 eyeballs. And it was like, many times the size of 2 healthy ovaries. And the growth was also adhered on the other side to my bowel. So a surgery that should have taken about an hour took 4 hours. They took photographs of it, which they showed me in the recovery room. And that mass they took out was a pound. It weighed a pound. But it was not malignant. And they took out the bad ovary. And 6 weeks later, I go to the doctor for my checkup, and he goes, "Are you having like night sweats or hot flashes?" And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "You're in menopause." And I said, "Again? I went through this at 38 when I had my hysterectomy." And he goes, "Yes, again." And so he put me on estrogen, so that the hot flashes and night sweats would go away. Well, thank God for that. But it's like my mother also had gone through menopause twice. She had the same thing that happened. She had a mass on one of her ovaries after she'd had a hysterectomy. They left her ovaries in, for the hormones. But I just thought that was so weird that we both had the same thing. But in her mass, when they cut it open, there was a human tooth in there. Yeah, isn't it weird? There wasn't anything in mine. But I just thought.
Well, it is one story. I really don't know how to respond to this because I don't want to make fun of any one person out there. It's a interesting development in her life. I cannot presume that or assume when you know what happens when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me, that she's doing OnlyFans of the adult industry version. I can only suspect based on the level that she's speaking on and the clothing that she's wearing, and she's not also, cooking, sewing, teaching people how to do things in the home. And, the fact that she went into menopause twice, that was just as scary as knowing that she's 72 years old and she's doing only OF. And she could quite possibly be making more money than I have earned on YouTube to date, which is less than $200 for me since I've been monetized. And she could be making that just by turning on her camera in a minute. So, when I saw this one, I told my soon-to-be daughter-in-law and my son that I have made the conscious decision that I may consider doing an OF page. Well, my to-be daughter-in-law said she wants no part of that and she's going to disconnect the internet. And my son first laughed at me and he goes, "What do you know about that?" I'm like, "What do you know about that?" He goes, "Mom, what is happening? What are you doing? What's going on?" And he just looked away and he just walked upstairs. And I know that they're both plotting my death. I know they are. Because I want to let you know I'm joking. I just wanted to see their reaction. And when my to-be daughter-in-law said, "Yeah, we're cutting off the internet," I'm like, "For the whole house? Wouldn't the other people be suffering?" She goes, "I'd rather the whole house suffer than have you on OF. And I got to live with that with your son." I was like, "Good point. We can always go out and touch grass instead of watching television. That's an option." But my son's reaction, he's just looking down, just going up the stairs like, "Oh my God." I think it's because excuse me. It's very early, so I do apologize for yawning. I'm not sure if he is afraid of me actually doing or saying that my mom has crossed over to another dimension. I won't do that, son. Not for you, not for me, for anybody. But now we have the baby boomers on OF. Oh my God. And then I went down the rabbit hole of OF models actually, for whatever reason, has compelled them to actually do this, are to meet their actual fans in person. I can tell you there's a lot of things I will do, but that is definitely not one of them. And on top of that, OF. But if I ever had to fall ass backwards into OF and then my fan wants to meet me, no. No, because no. What's worse about this story is that this person, one of her fans, paid. Now, there's a discrepancy in what I found. Either he paid $2 million or $3 million. Because what's a 2-3 mil diff? This is what scared me into the next one that we're going to go into, because something is happening with OF, allegedly, that can circumvent all of everything that we talked about in these prior clips. So I'm going to let you go through this story. Now be patient. It's a little long. And then I'm going to give you my thoughts on this. Okay. Let's take a look at the meeting.
You're much fatter in person.
What?
You're much fatter in person.
Fatter?
Yeah.
Motherfucker's gonna charge back. Oh my God.
So what kind of things are you into?
I don't really want to talk to you after you said that. That was so mean.
He gets a pass, like he's giving you like millions, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Anything you want to say about yourself?
Because I'm scared.
Motherfucker, I'm scared.
Nice to finally meet you. Are you guys dead ass right now? I'm like, I don't know.
No, like it's literally dead ass.
Let's start off with my first gut reaction. This was a setup. by all parties involved. That was my first gut reaction. If it wasn't a setup, which I'm leaning towards that it wasn't towards the OF creator, I think that she felt safe because she had people around her that should be looking out for her. And her reaction to what this person, as he introduces himself and says that she's a lot fatter in person, seemed to be legitimately shocked. She was legitimately shocked when he approached her. And then I said, okay, so let's start off with he's 23 years old and he has the monetary ability to spend, whether it's 2 million or 3 million, anything in the mill. To me, even $2,000 is a lot. Okay. To go ahead and set up this meeting with the OF creator that he apparently has put in a lot of money. Where the hell that he got that money from? They don't really go into it. I don't know his name. I don't know who he's from. I don't know he comes from rich money. I don't know what he does. But let's say that he really did this. I don't feel from what he said, especially when he first met her, especially being that, okay, so you're a lot fatter in person. What is he? An Adonis? No offense, but where does he get off? You know? And I feel like he went in there with an agenda. His agenda was to get revenge for whatever reason. It was a very costly revenge because, I believe that if she was really not acting, she thought that this guy was going to fan all over her, and be like, oh my God, $2 million, $3 million. I mean, I would think so too. And thankfully she did it in a group setting. But nonetheless, the moderator was not very nice to her at all. Because when he wants to get further into a conversation and she says, I don't want to talk to you after that. And, the guy's like, well, he paid a lot of money, so he kind of has the right to do that. I'm like, no, he doesn't. But this is what I said about the dark side of doing this adult content, right? Because now they own you in their mind. This is what I said before. It's a control thing. It's I own you. You were willing to do this for X amount of money. Now I can, feel free to take advantage of you or insult you or make you feel like crap. And this is industry known. This is not a secret. A lot of these creators, adult industry creators, have said it since the beginning of this thing. Before OF, in the adult industry, they get treated like cattle, like nothing, like crap, because the people have the monetary control over them. And this is exactly what I was afraid of. This girl, if she was really truly shocked, which to me she seemed, was in an unsafe environment with a moderator who pretty much said he can say and do whatever he wants because he pretty much paid $2-3 million to have this exact moment. And she has to sit there and take it because maybe she feels like, where the hell am I going to go? Because personally, I would have walked the hell out. But I don't know her. I don't know her situation. I don't know if she would have given back the money. I don't know. But that guy, 22 years old, 23 years old, with that kind of money going in there, and the first thing that comes out of your mouth, you're a lot fatter in person. I don't know what his intention was, but maybe he felt like he didn't have a shot with her unless he paid her money. And, because of that, I'm going to insult her and pay a lot of money for it because I got it like that. And he's on the internet too. What, you think that this is not going to follow him? He's not any better than anybody else. Any woman that would even remotely find him appealing will always have this frame as reference that this is what you did. What is going on in this world? And I'm not saying United States, I'm like this world. That one set me off. That's where I'm getting into the more darker side of this. I said it. There's a dark side to this. Make no mistake. Don't play yourself. Don't be a freaking fool. Center. I'm sorry. I don't know why this is getting to me. Because there's so many compartments to this, between the young ones coming in right after 18 to, the 30-year-olds, the 40-year-olds, the 72-year-olds. Now, I said in my last video, I believe, that at least in this industry, it'll take a while. before AI fake people can infiltrate, because I would think it's a little hard. No pun intended. I'm here to say I was wrong. So now apparently, not only was I wrong, I was so wrong that the wrong came back and slapped me in my butt. Okay? Because not only apparently, allegedly, AI models have infiltrated possibly OF and other platforms of adult nature, it gets even worse and funny for some people. These AI models are being generated by men for AI female models, and they're making money off these fake women. Because, like I said, necessity is the mother of all invention. And if, there's a way to get things done, because from the adult industry standard, what it was standard before all this minutia started, you can't fake being human in those scenarios. So now that you can fake being human, we have men who are creating these AI models to take over these platforms and not only decentralize the whole industry, but actually exploit to their advantage, because I don't know what else to put it. Let's take a look at this story, because again, I can't verify if this is true. I just know that people are talking about it and it popped up. I was like, oh no, you didn't. Of course you did. Because until you can actually have to meet someone, which I'll get into that one after this clip, how is that not possible? Let's take a look.
OnlyFans agency, and he said his customers have no idea that some of the posts are fully AI deepfakes, and that sometimes the model doesn't exist at all.
Do the guys who are purchasing this know that it's not real?
No, they don't. Not at all.
How is that possible? Maybe wait. Maybe you're not giving them enough credit. Maybe they know, they just don't want to know. If that makes sense.
No, I don't think they know, my friends. I don't think they know. The 99% of the people that are scrolling through these reels can't detect that it's AI. So they're still subscribing as if it's a real model, which obviously then they subscribe and then they have chatters on the back end. They chat to these people and obviously build relationships. So they're not talking to a real girl. In fact, she doesn't exist. Like, of course, with what we do, the girl does exist. But they don't know what their names are, what they look like, or whatever. The girls that we manage don't even go on the OnlyFans profile, and they don't check any of the messages. So, I mean, it's all fake. It's all fugazi, my friend. I don't know.
That does seem kind of... It's kind of like a weird kind of scam where if the guy actually thinks he's paying to chat with the girl, and none of these guys are actually chatting with any girl. At best, they're chatting with probably a different girl, another man, or at worst, I guess, a bot. Like, just a straight-up bot. I guess that's where it's going anyways.
There's no bots that can replicate it as of yet. But I can say that 99% of the chatters are from the Philippines, just chatting to these individuals, building the relationships, and ending up with a lot of money. So,
I want to be honest here. This is a scam. And afterwards, I dug into this guy and I realized he was also a
student in Austin who has made $43,000 running an AI OnlyFans account. Dude, I just heard that I had this meeting where they were talking about how.
So, he's doing like, oh no.
Wow.
Wait, so that's the dude and that's the
guy.
And she's the AI version that he's selling?
Yep.
Okay. Well, what is this?
It's a 22-year-old. This is like her avatar, right? So he's using Claude Code and Flux and 11 Labs. And basically, she can chat 24 hours a day with all of her subscribers. And her top fans paid nearly $2,000 in messages. Average revenue per fan, $34. And she doesn't sleep. There's nothing to film. No one's typing. Claude Code writes every message. Flux generates every photo. And 11 Labs generates her voice. What's the...
Seriously? And if you think it's not possible, if you think that this is already not in the works or has been part of the works for a while, let's take a look at this clip of someone who has created his own avatar.
Gelo no copo, piscando a fachada.
This has got to be the most diabolical business model I've ever come across. You literally just saw a video of a guy using AI to turn himself into a girl, which he's going to use to sell on OnlyFans. And I don't know what's worse, the fact that he's doing this, or the fact that there's boomers in the comments that literally have no idea that this is AI. I'm not making this video to suggest you start this business model. I'm only doing this to spread awareness. We're at a point in time where not only girls are making a lot of money through OnlyFans, but guys are literally doing it as well. And you know what's crazy? This guy is literally selling a course on how to do this. So he's literally making money from the OnlyFans and his course. The biggest thing that's on my mind right now is that what other jobs are going to come out because of AI, and what other business models are going to come out that might be low-key unethical like this. Let me know what you think in the comments.
So, not only is the genie out of the bottle, Pandora's box have been opened. There's a tsunami of ridiculousness happening everywhere. Because I thought AI influencers were bad enough. Oh no. No. This is worse. This is literally worse. And I'm laughing because there is no other way to put this. Because even let's say OF gets taken down, which there's a strong possibility that it can be. The system has already been created. How long do you think it'll take before another one pops up and starts their own page and subscription model and have everything in place? Because they'll take what OF did wrong and then specifically target what made it so successful. And everyone will really know what it is. Okay? And on top of that, if they decide to go with real models, there's a strong possibility that they won't need to. Because by the time this happens, these AI fake models, influencers / people-ish, kind of ghoulish, GPT, Claude, Sora, whatever the hell is being done, is going to be so advanced that you won't even need to be the same sex to have your own. And people will pay for it. And here I am, as I noted, so confused of how to start my Patreon for just $1. Okay? And you've got people paying $37, $2,000, $1 million, $2 million. I don't know where to go with this because there's no other way to go. But I don't think we're down. I don't think down is not even close to where we are yet. Not even close. Seriously. Because I don't see an up on this. I see that it's going to get more convoluted. It's going to get more desperate. I think people are going to try to scam people as far as they can. It's going to squeeze this juice until we get to a point that I feel legitimately, and we're coming close to it, where people are going to want to meet these fake AI influencers / OF / adult creations. And then we will have the actual robots take over. Because there's going to come a time that they're going to make them look real, because we're coming close to that. I don't know if you've seen any of this tech out there. I haven't found any clips yet. If I do, I'll put it in here somewhere. That the robot technology could be coming to a home near you, and it could easily mimic what these fake creators are doing online. But this time you will know they're fake, thankfully. Hopefully. I pray. Because they already have the dolls in the blanks. That's been a number of years ongoing. And, all it takes is somebody smart enough to put that technology that's being generated in the laptop, Mac, PC, and transfer it into a robotic person, or I say robot, not person, and there you go, poof. Because here's my last thought on this, and maybe someone out there can resonate with me on this, because this all goes back into the dating culture, or lack thereof. We have become so detached from wanting human connection, wanting connection with someone else. And I'm not just talking about on a intimate level. I'm talking about friendship level. I'm talking about, even intimacy, boyfriend, girlfriend, first date, whatever the case may be, that it is very difficult for people to find connection with all these dating apps, and they're complaining, bitching, and moaning, screaming. I have part 2 coming up, so get ready for that one, on all levels. And people are just sick of the crap, and, the women's side and the men's side, and everybody's crying, and we can't find a good man, can't find a good woman. At some point, we are pushing ourselves into these AI, unrealistic, unreal models, influencers, relationships, people, that it's going to eventually spur and spawn the robots that we're going to have in our homes that are going to be our BFFs and more. There is going to come a generation, it may not be the one that's being born now, but there will come a generation that they're not going to know anything that we're talking about. They're going to be like, really? You used to meet in person? You used to swipe left and swipe right? You used to go out on dates with real people? You touched each other? You actually were physical with another being, and it was not, Rosie the Riveter, robot? And wow, what was that like? I could totally see that happen. I think the only thing that's going to stop this, because nobody listens to Terminator at all, is government from around the world, not just us. Because just because we decide to put the genie back in the bottle here in the States, the other countries are not. And we're competing with those. China is the one that's developing these robots a lot faster than we are. Elon Musk, I don't know what he's doing. He's blowing up rockets. He's got his own problems. But it's coming. And, unless the entire world decides, hey, just let's take a pause for the cause here, it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop. And the dating culture is going to get more and more diluted. It's going to get more and more difficult for people to not only find connections, but want to be with someone to connect with. That's why I think this is where this is going. Because when I get into my part 2 of my dating horror stories for all ages, I could be crazy, and we all know that there's a limit to my crazy, but I can see how people are further and further separating from wanting to be with people to now paying to be with who they think are people, or they don't care that they're not, and they want just a connection, because there are people are falling in love with their chat GPTs. If you can fall in love with something in chat GPT, you can easily fall in love with an AI model or AI influencer or a robot that's forthcoming. What's the difference? There isn't. There really isn't. And I just want, I just hope I'm not around to see it. There, I said it. I know that's sad to say, but I don't want to see it. My son will see it. His generation below him will see it. I don't want to be around. So how do I circumvent this? I'm going to push myself to go out and touch grass. I'm going to go to that event at the library for over and 50. I don't think anybody will be there, but I'm going to do it. I've made that conscious decision today when I did this video. I was like, you know what? It's one small step on my part, but at least I'm trying. I don't have any expectations of meeting anybody. I just want to see who's there and what their thoughts are and how they feel about, just their process of what's happening right now. And, I'm gonna start communicating more outward with my friends because I've been so locked in trying to build this channel, do these videos, edit, everything like that. And, thank God that I have my family here to have some sort of conversation. Because when I was in Miami, I was doing this by myself all the time alone. So I do get breaks in the day, because I do the cooking for the house, stuff like that. And there's communication, there's moving, what I'm saying? Like we're talking. So that keeps me human. But I've pretty much haven't spoken to my friends in Miami in a while because, like, again, when I'm so focused on something, it takes a lot for me to break. But I'm going to start reaching out more. I'm going to start communicating more. I'm going to go to that event at the library, and I'm going to come back and report to see you two guys. I think it's this month sometime, and I'm going to let you know how it went. And no, it's not going to propel me to go dating because that's not what I'm doing this for. I'm doing this because I want the human connection, whether it's friendship, whether it's, through my social media here, whether it's outside, inside, whatever, I have to stop. Like I just started talking to my neighbor. He's like 80 something years old, really sweet old man. Whenever there's like packages for us on the front, he always rings my bell, make sure that I get it because he doesn't want any of the packages out. And I just had a nice 10-minute conversation with him just because it propelled me to want to talk to someone. I'm going to make him a nice lasagna because he's half Italian. Like I'm getting out there because I don't want to be 72 years old talking about I have an OF page and my son has canceled me and my daughter-in-law has kicked me out of the house. So, if you can you like, comment, share, hype, and all the 18 other things that YouTube expects you to do as a content watcher for us creators who provide the service to you instead of them actually doing a job to get our word out. Can you take care of that? Because it would really mean a lot to this channel and to just the community at large, because I hope to stay on here as long as I can without having any subsequent or substitute type of page that I should have not be doing at all, if you know what I'm talking about. So I appreciate your time. And I want to wish everyone, drop a comment. Let me know your thoughts on this. Have you been seeing these videos going around? Again, my YouTube algorithm is a mess. So I give it up. I'm like, take over, YouTube, take over. I don't care anymore because for every stupid crap that you send me, I'm going to make a video about it. So I want to thank everyone for watching. I hope I brought value to you. I hope you consider subscribing. And let me tell you this. I want to wish you all a blessed day, week, month, year. Because from here to around this world that I reach, I want to thank everyone and have a beautiful, beautiful, blessed day. Goodbye. Mwah. Mwah.